Many of you have been asking questions about living and traveling full-time as a family.
In this series, we'll answer some of those questions.
Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're Diary of a Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you.
Today, we will be asking the question, is it safe to travel full-time with your family?
Our first tip for you is use wisdom when deciding where to go. First, you want to ask others in the RVing community, find out what their experience has been in that area, and whether or not it's even worth going to see.
Research crime rates. This is especially important if you are traveling in large urban areas.
Know the closest hospital, how long it takes to get there. If you're in a more rural area, looking for an urgent care might be another option.
Be aware of reviews, especially on campgrounds, RV parks, and BLM land. This can provide some much needed information on where the best place for you to camp. This is particularly needed if you are going to boondock. We have looked at many boondocking areas and some of them we couldn't get our rig into. Reading reviews on others that have traveled in there, they'll tell you if you are able to get a large rig into that campsite.
Be aware that not every manager of an RV park is going to be the best landlord. We have changed our plans and not gone to certain RV parks because there were threats made to those who were camping there. It's really important to trust and rely on those who you pay your rent to. Finally, be aware of the terrain and the wildlife in the area, just to make sure that you know, is this a flood zone? Is this a place where I'm not going to be safe at this time of year? Is this hurricane season? Maybe there's a drop-off just on the other side of my camper and only a little fence blocks us from it. How about poisonous snakes and scorpions and other bugs that we need to be aware of to keep us and our children safe?
You also want to make sure you know your comfort level and know when it is time to just move on. We found this out firsthand when we were traveling to Louisiana. We stopped at a fairground in Oregon, and quite quickly our little spidey senses were like, nope, don't stop, just keep going.
Quite a few derelict vehicles and people on their doorstep smoking and looking disheveled. It really looked a bit like everybody here probably does drugs.
Yep.
I hate to judge someone without actually knowing them, but when it's for our safety, we couldn't stay there for even one night traveling through. We moved on.
Being aware of the weather in the area you're traveling is also vitally important.
This goes for both travel and when you're staying put in that area to camp for a couple of weeks or so.
You want to know if you're having high wind gusts in your area, if you're having side winds while you're traveling. You don't want to get stuck in the middle of a snowstorm or windstorm or any kind of really nasty weather while you're traveling.
When you're choosing a location to go to, you kind of want to stay away from those areas that get bad tornadoes during tornado season. And if you are there for any reason and there is a tornado warning, it's just stuff. Leave the rig, pack up, get yourself to a shelter. This goes for those during hurricane season. Remember that we can't stop nature. God has it all working and we can't stop it. So if you need to pack up your rig and move out of the area, do it. Don't wait, do it.
There is a wonderful app that I've been using for a couple years now that has helped me tremendously with weather. It's called My Radar. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go check it out. It lets you know the direction of the wind that you're in. It shows you weather patterns, gives you predictions, and will also give you warnings if you are having a flash flood or a tornado or any kind of inclement weather that you need to take note of. It will tell you that, which has been a lifesaver for us.
Now, it's not just you and your significant other traveling, you're traveling with your kids. So you need to train your children. First off, orient them to your new location and the dangers. We have seriously been in an RV park that had a drop off to a river bottom right there.
Yeah, we took them over to the edge, showed them what was down there, and reminded them to steer clear of that area.
We've also camped in the desert that has warnings for flash flooding and told the kids, here's a wash. You do not want to be in this wash if it is raining because you can have water wash you away. We've talked about the wildlife in the area and not touching the wildlife just in case they're poisonous, can bite or sting.
Second, set rules. We have 2 simple rules that we have for our kids. You need to stay within sight of the RV when you are outside playing.
And don't go into other people's trailers. You can play with their kids outside the rig so that we can find you.
We also try to get to know the families that have kids in our campsites so that we have somewhat of a friendship with them.
We're gonna let our friends nursing our travel bug tell you some of the rules that they have for their older kids.
Hey everybody, I'm Natasha.
And I'm Bill.
And we're nursing our travel bug. And we wanted to share with you 3 rules that we have for our children to keep them safe when we're RVing.
First one is when they go out, we ask them to stay together. Safety in numbers.
Absolutely. Number 2 is we make sure that when they leave the RV, they take a walkie-talkie. That way we can be in constant communication or just call them home when we're ready for them.
And the third rule we've always drove home since we started out is never go into somebody else's RV.
If we get to know the family and we trust them, then we may make an exception. But RVs are home on wheels and they can be picked up and moved out quite quickly. So we hope these tips help you to keep your kids safe as well.
Lastly, just trust your instincts. You as a parent know when something isn't right. And if something's not right, just do something about it. Whether it's moving from a campsite, whether it's your kids are playing in a safe area, just trust those instincts that you have.
Next, check out our video answering commonly asked questions about educating on the road.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, live life intentionally.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.